Once again, we have gone from incredibly complicated to incredibly simple with the Zeta Plus C1. The Zeta Plus C1 rounds out our roster of people that can do heavy staggers with the support that can do a heavy stagger. The Rick DS2 is the Ray with the heavy stagger. The Zeta A1 is a general with a heavy stagger. The Zeta Plus C1 is a support that has a heavy stagger. And that's all it is good for. It is a walking, talking, heavy stagger machine. So let's go over it. The Zeta Plus C1 has 0 defensive options as opposed to the Palestine in exchange for being way smaller and having a flight mode. The beam smart gun is your only option. It has a 5-beam cannon and some Vulcans, which are not great. They are not good. And a beam saber. It has balancers, which means it can do melee combos if it needs to, and melee combo controller to help with that. Other than that, it does have a transformation mode. However, the transformation does not have shock dampeners, which means that it is not a great idea for you to go into the. It's not a great idea for you to go into transformation mode unless you're absolutely certain you need to do it. That being said, in order to play this suit effectively, you do need to access.
Ready to begin?
You do need to access those weapons to maintain your uptime. This is because the Zeta Plus C1 has a pretty bad weapon uptime because of the way you're meant to play this suit. The fully charged beam smart gun charges completely in 4.5 seconds, 4.5 seconds. And it is a heavy stagger. It has an overheat time of 12 seconds, so it's the exact same as the Rick DS2. But what do you do when you are waiting for this thing to finish? Well, your only other gun when you're in MS mode is your waist cannon. And once you fire 5 of those, well, that's it. Your Vulcans kind of suck. They don't really do any damage. So what are you supposed to do in the meantime? Well, we'll go over that in a second. The thigh cannon is much weaker than the Zeta Plus A1's. It only does 17 times 2. So 17 times 2 times 4 is 136, which means that this gun can only take out things with damage control 1. This isn't all bad because there are suits that have damage control 1. The mass-produced Zeta Gundam, for example, and this Kaplant here, can get staggered in one volley from this gun. So you do have some options. But for things like the S Gundam, or anything with Maneuver Armor 3, the Zaku 3, you're not stunning it. This is not going to stun it because it's not going to reach that much. It can only reach 136%. This is kind of okay because your beam smart gun is a heavy stagger. And heavy staggers beat everything in this game except for guarding, dodge rolling, etc. I recommend you build the Zeta Plus C1 with a auxiliary armor build so you can stack overheat coolers so that the beam smart gun becomes more active, more available, so you can spam it more often. But even if you do that, we still have one problem. We run out of guns really fast. So what do? Well, we have to transform. You have to transform with this suit in order to utilize it. Let's go over the weapons real quick. The beam smart gun, as we've already talked about, has a heavy stagger when fully charged. When it's not fully charged, it's a regular ass stagger. The beam smart gun, when you're in transformation mode, is not an instant stagger. It does 50 plus 50. So you have to charge to get that instant stagger, and it overheats immediately when you do that. The transformation beam cannon is actually the same thing as the Zeta Plus A1. It does 35% per shot, and it overheats in 6 shots, which means you can actually use it to stagger things. It actually reaches 200%. So you're flying straight towards an enemy while you're doing this, so I wouldn't do it on something that's attacking you, but You can use this to help enemies, to help allies stagger things like the Zaku 3, the Palace of Theme, and other raids that aren't looking at you. You have balancers, which means after a heavy stagger on a suit that's close by, you can get a knockdown, after which you get that, and then you run the heck away. Yeah, this suit is all about getting heavy staggers. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a good suit. It is a good suit only if you can get you can leverage your transformation. The Beam Smart Gun has a 600 meters range when charged, so it is as long range as the full burn-in. So you can't. This is one of the few suits that can actually punish the full burn-in for peaking. The range on the Beam Smart Gun, the Thigh Cannon is 200%. What am I saying? The range on the Waist Cannon is 400. So shit like this will definitely teach the full burn-in a lesson. You're gonna have to use a suit like that. There's a lot of things you have to do in order to make the suit usable. The game plan should be heavy stagger things like this. Charge up, chain another stagger, ram attack, and then emergency evasion. The suit does have an evade while transformed, which is rare. Rare for support to have. Flight suits get them though, and then fly away. That's something you can try and do to pressure the opponent. There is a good timing in this where some suits have built-in swap speed timings to chain a heavy stagger to regular stagger. This suit is one of them. By the time you transformed and charged up this rifle again, your regular stagger is ready. Your regular stagger is ready. Your regular stagger will re-stagger them, quote unquote. So if you have the opportunity to, do that, the heavy stagger, regular stagger, shoot the waist beam cannons, ram attack them, and then emergency evade to the next safest location. I did that a little too fast, actually. I actually did that way too fast. One more time. Bam. Ram attack. Emergency evade. Get down. That's what you should be doing when you have the ability to do so. Don't you do it just out of nowhere when someone can shoot you down. Because once again, you don't have shocks. Only do it when you have a guy isolated or when you want to team up with an enemy, with an ally, to kill somebody immediately. Really simple suit. Has a heavy stagger. Doesn't have to do too much besides that. You do have to transform to utilize the other two weapons in its kit. And yeah, happy hunting. The heavy stagger is, of course, the rate equalizer, shoots out flying suits, stops anything in HSM. So it is still valuable and it's still something that you can use. I would use this suit if you didn't know how to. If you had no experience with any certain suits, I would recommend this, the full burn-in, and the Rick DS2 if you want to just pick up a suit, have an easy time.